This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Good morning, Lincoln, Nebraska. Happy Thursday. Welcome into the Morning Hookup. Phillips, YZ, Justice on the ones and twos on a ominous morning on a Thursday, but nice outside.
It's nice outside. The problem is the overlook is not super nice.
No, it doesn't make you like smile quite a bit, but yay. Turn those frowns upside down. It's a beautiful Thursday, all standing upright, hopefully.
I'm on the ones and twos because it isn't classic rock and it's dirty South rap. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on now.
YZ
There's a little bit of a style difference.
He knows what we're going to get this morning. I said, you know what I love about you guys, because you have your own styles. And when you're on the ones and twos, you just set the tone.
Mm-hmm. We got to set the tone.
We get to be over here. I get to be over here. And it's like, all right, that's the mood. That's the tone. Let's go there.
Yep, we're getting after it. We're taking what we want today. I think that's the most important part.
On the other side of the window today.
YZ, there he is.
Feels weird.
Can we bring him in? Is he logged in yet?
Not yet.
We're working
Not yet. We're working through that. But, boy, a lot to get to today. We'll go NBA Draft Day 2, take a peek at that, how that went down. There's a couple winners, couple losers in that whole thing. Talk about some Huskers. We'll go into trades. My goodness, it was a big one just announced a few moments ago. We'll talk about that. Around the Diamond, Major League Baseball. World Cup today as well. America back on the pitch tomorrow? Today.
9 p.m.
Back on
An animal gets slaughtered.
Back on the pitch today. We'll talk about that. And we'll jump into a little football as well. There's a few proposed changes to the portal, to practice, all that. And we have Big Ten Media Days announcement. Who will be traveling there from Nebraska? I'm going to ask the question about what that means when you look at that list of who's going there. Because I think when you send people to Big Ten Media Days, it kind of tells you a lot of maybe the tone set. Is that fair? Setting the tone kind of thing. We'll look at that. And a whole lot of you guys, feel free. 402-489-1240. Give us a ring. Or jump on the stream with us on YouTube or Facebook. Search up the Morning Hookup. Pages are out there. Throw in some comments. Say hi. Boy, Draft Day 2.
There were some fun ones.
There was, I can tell you right now, the one that you're looking at, for me personally, is I think it's so interesting in that with 2 rounds of draft and kids that get advice and make decisions and how they end up. Some good, some bad. Henry Vesar turned out really bad. He's going to get the title for the biggest fall probably.
Yeah.
In this draft, as it was sources out there saying that he was upwards of $4+ million NIL money at Carolina. To say I'm still going to stay in it.
That's a lot of cheddar.
And then being told maybe you were a round 1 guy somewhere in there. If not, you're at the top of round 2. 50-something, 52?
52nd overall pick.
You just went from being told this to being not guaranteed to do anything in that pick.
He is going to the Hawks, which I think is an interesting pick because they're going to give him, if he plays, he's going to have a layer of defensive insulation that'll help him. He is a pretty decent shot blocker.
He is.
He can stretch out and shoot it. I don't know to the degree that maybe some people think, but he can stretch out and shoot it. He gives you a nice lob threat. So in terms of the 3 traditional things now that you want a big man to do, he does fulfill those. The question is, how much of the extra stuff is he going to give you? I don't know the answer to that. He is a pretty decent passer. I will say that.
Yeah.
He flashes.
We'll see, but you just know in that 50s range, it's not guaranteed. There's no guarantee.
Nothing's guaranteed.
Nothing. Probably outside the top 20.
My personal favorite fit of the second round.
Yeah.
How in the world did Indiana get Braden Smith? That is an incredible fit.
Yep.
Think of that as like an immediate plug-and-play backup point guard in that fun and gun system. Yeah, Rick Carlisle got himself one in the second round. And that was a guy that when me and my buddy were doing our draft boards, we had as a first-round grade.
Like, that's a steal.
Yeah, that is an absolute market value bargain steal.
Would you say and feel that the guards were the story of round 2. Guards were a big story.
Yes, they were.
When you look at how they come off the board, I mean, out of the gate, Bruce Thornton comes off the board.
Which, by the way, good pick for Houston because they need some spacing.
Richie Saunders comes off the board. Isaiah Evans comes off the board. Malik Thomas comes off the board in your first 4 picks. And then you go down and you talk about Braden Smith coming off the board. Just a lot of guards when you start looking at this guard class. Just felt like the guards won it yesterday.
Yeah, they did. A quick forward pick that I liked. The Nuggets getting Trayvon Brazile from Arkansas. I really like Brazile, and he's a little bit older of a prospect, which is why he falls in the second round. The guy is an absolute freak athlete. The guy is a complete freak show above the rim. Incredible shot blocker, good range defensively. He adds more to your team. It's not Aaron Gordon, but he offers you a different profile. So that's a guy that I think can immediately help the Nuggets. I was a little bit deflated yesterday because the Thunder decided to they selected Ryan Conwell, and I'm like, yes, I love Ryan Conwell. This is great. I would love to add this to my building. And then they trade him to Miami, which great for the Heat. They need the spacing with the addition of Giannis Antetokounmpo. You need more spacing. You need more shooting. You go get one of the best shooters in the class. The problem is the Thunder go get Otega Oweh, and I'm not an Otega Oweh guy. I gotta be honest here, fellas. I love the Mara pick. I'm A-okay with getting Sturts on board. Apparently the Thunder just said, now we got to add a little less flavor to the barbecue at Summer League, so we're bringing Josh Dix, Peyton Sanford, and Bennett Sturts on a Summer League team. That's got to be wrong in some way, shape, or form. But they go from Ryan Conwell, which I'm like, yeah, I like Ryan Conwell, to Otega Oweh, and I'm like, I've never seen it with Otega Oweh. I think he's a fine player. I don't know that he's really going to stick and stay on an NBA roster. And I think Conwell actually has a chance to be an impact player in this league. So that's just kind of my thoughts. I know YZ being a Celtics guy's probably got some different feelings about this draft.
I don't really know what to feel around just the overall vibe of my Celtics right now with the whole dealing Jaylen Brown thing, and then
sources are saying they're still actively shopping right now.
Yeah,
feels like that's a relationship that's coming.
It's coming,
being burnt down.
It's coming to a close here pretty soon. But I mean, you get Dylan Mitchell, and I don't have the pick that we got on
Chris Sinak
yesterday. Oh yeah, Chris Sinak. So 2 really tall, lengthy guys that are gonna help out in the rebounding category. Which Chris Sinak, you talk about freak athletes. There's another freak athlete for you right there. He'll be really solid in the rotation. Dylan Mitchell probably won't get much playing time. But outside of the Celtics, another pick that I really liked was Jacoby Gillespie to the Spurs.
Yeah,
I think when you talk about team fits, like he fits into that system. He reminds me of a Stephon Castle. He reminds me of a Devin Vassell. Like he plays the game just like those two, so he'll fit like a glove into that system.
Yeah, he can shoot. He is a flat out shooter. Like he might contend for the best shooter in this class, which is pretty awesome. I like Jerome Pierre Jr. to the Pels. They need talent. That guy can score in bunches. I've been a fan of his since he was at Jacksonville State. So that was really good. It was also cool to see Nick Martinelli picked.
I was just going to bring that up. Remember, we talked about that yesterday. Yeah. He was not on the mock for round 2, but it didn't have to. He waited a little bit, but not too long.
And
it's a guy we've seen play, and it kind of got at us at least once against Nebraska. A very active player, not going to jump off the board with athleticism, but is a physical being that can give you some hustles. Like he's going to get the hustle stats.
Yeah, and I think like there is some real 3-point potential to be tapped into with Martinelli, where you can maybe just tinker his game just slightly when he gets to the NBA level. I think the thing that you can also appreciate about a guy like Nick Martinelli is he's a grinder. And, the nature of New York City is very blue collar. It's gritty. It's tough, just like Chicago can be, right? I think that fan base, he will endear to them because of his temperament on the court, because of his style of play, the way that his motor is always going. I think that will endear itself to the New York Knicks fan base. And so that's a wonderful pick just to like connect with the fan base and to get that guy rolling. I'm happy for Martinelli because that guy's a heck of a player. And I thought that he was he just needed a shot in the NBA, and now he's going to get one with the second round guy.
Yep, I agree. That's a great little pickup now. As far as the draft, it's over. Like you get day 1, day 2 done. Now the free agent stuff going on. Hey, shout out to Sam Hoiberg. Going to get a chance with Phoenix and Mast this morning reporting. He'll get a chance with Indiana on an Exhibit 10 contract. So that's a 1-year minimum salary, non-guaranteed NBA deal that can turn and include a bonus for joining a team's G League affiliate and can be converted to a two-way before the regular season.
And it's a good opportunity for both of those guys, right? Like Sam was working out all summer, getting in the gym with the Priority Sports guys, and he ends up working his way into an undrafted free agent contract with the Phoenix Suns, which is awesome. You play in summer league. If you find your way in any way, shape, or form onto an NBA floor, you have succeeded. Like that is the bottom line in all of this. Is he if he graces the floor in an NBA game, I don't care if it's meaningful or not. You have made it.
Winning.
Yeah, you have made it.
Winning.
Yeah,
that point.
You are better than the majority of the population. You are one of 400 some NBA players and people on earth that can say that they have played in the NBA.
Yep.
In that season.
I agree. So congrats to those two for getting those done, and wish them well as they continue their process. As we continue down, we'll talk signings and trades. Let's go to the trade, the big one this morning that they dropped a few moments before the show. LaMelo Ball traded to Minnesota. They ship him out of Charlotte. It'll be LaMelo Ball and Josh Green are headed to the T-Wolves. The Hornets get Naz Reid and a slew of picks, the 2033 first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps in 28, 29, and 30, 3 second-round picks in 29, 32, and 33. Ball to go hang out with Ant-Man.
Instant reaction, I don't know if there's a winner or loser in this trade. I'll probably have to dive deeper into it and see the picks and stuff, and probably take a couple years to see where those picks end up. But I feel like it's pretty solid for both teams. Maybe the Wolves give up a little bit, but you got to think about the roster that they're constructing now. LaMelo, Ant, Ayo Dosunmu, Jaden McDaniels, Rudy Gobert. That's a really solid starting 5, and they have some pretty solid bench pieces. But you do worry about 2 guys like LaMelo and Anthony Edwards who –
couple of alphas.
They want to shoot the ball 25 times a game, each one of them. And there's only so many shots to go around. So as far as the team gelling and them coming together, we'll see how that ends up. That's my only concern with this so far. You have 2 really talented guys, but can they play together is where I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at Charlotte's salary breakdown here. So LaMelo Ball's in the middle of he's in the 3rd year of a 5-year rookie extension. He's set to make an AAV of 40+ million. So he'll make 40.7 this year. He'll make 43.5 next year. And then he'll make 46.3 the year following that. I know that Charlotte's on the brink of pushing this into being a playoff contender. I wonder from an ownership standpoint if this is about saving as much money as possible and then reshuffling the deck chairs to build this thing around Con Knipple and Brandon Miller. I wonder if that's it. And now they added Hannes Steinbach to this whole equation. I wonder if there is this passing of the torch, this giving the buck of responsibility from LaMelo Ball to a guy like Con Knipple and a guy like Brandon Miller. And Brandon Miller's flashed at points. We haven't really seen consistency since his rookie year. So I wonder if this is a play to give the reins to the franchise to those 2 guys and Hannes Steinbach and allow them with Moussa Diabate to flourish into this young, vibrant core. And maybe this also gives the Hornets some roster flexibility. So now you're able to go manipulate and work with the cap and free agency. And you got an unprotected first-round pick in the future. You got some pick swaps. That's all well and good. And you get yourself a nice flex piece in Naz Reid. This might not be the worst move here for Charlotte. Is it questionable? Certainly. Giving up a guy that you tagged as your franchise star and now moving off of him, that it can certainly be deemed questionable. I like the gamble to go young. Yeah, I will say that. And if it doesn't work, then you could look back and say we took a chance. And it will continue to be a common trope and a common thing held against Charlotte that they continue to proverbially shoot themselves in the foot. But I think when you look at this, I like the gamble to try to go young. And then from the Timberwolves' point of view, why not try to maximize the years that you have with Anthony Edwards? And why not try to build this thing into a championship contender? Because let's be honest, fellas, if we're looking at the Western Conference, they're probably the 3rd team running right now between the Spurs and the Thunder. Anything you can do to close that gap, anything that you can do to add talent to your roster, to make sure that that gap between you and Oklahoma City and San Antonio is as minuscule as possible, right? If not at all.
Well, because you look at the youth and the you talk about those two teams. I think it's those two, and there's a massive gap to 3.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna make up that gap somehow, Hooksy.
Yep, because those teams, by the way, they're young, loaded with young talent still.
And it's not like Josh Green's just a throw-in piece in this. Like
No.
he could contribute in the rotation for Minnesota and be impactful in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I mean, it helps. It helps Charlotte probably balance the books. I'd have to take a look at this a little bit more, but it probably helps Charlotte balance the books while adding Naz Reid. You get a nice piece who can do something for you and continue that stretch versatility because he can space the floor. Because think about it now. They got floor spacers with Concanipple, with Brandon Miller, with what you believe about Naz Reid, and maybe Hannes Steinbach can develop the jumper and shoot it. Like, it looks pretty good in person. Maybe that's something that consistently becomes part of his game. If not, you get a monster rebounder. But it's interesting for Charlotte. I think for Minnesota, it's kind of a no-brainer. Why would you not? Like, if this is offered to you, why not just see if you can get this? Because you get a bona fide point guard. Because let's be honest, do you really want to run Mike Conley out there? Do you really? Like, I love Mike Conley, but Mike Conley's getting towards the tail end of his career. Do you really want to run Mike Conley out there?
Yep.
If anything you can do to supercharge this offense and take some scoring onus out of Anthony Edwards' hands, take some of the pressure off of him, I think is a good thing. I think that's a really good thing for him. Plus, you got another guy to get Rudy Gobert the ball in the paint, and that's never a bad thing. I'm going to be totally honest. Plus, they added some decent pieces in the draft, so exciting times for Minnesota fans. They should be happy about the way that their roster is trending because I feel like now with this draft and with this trade for LaMelo Ball, they have moved up this offseason. They are a riser instead of a faller, which you always want to be improving in the modern era. Sports.
Absolutely. Totally agree. So draft done. A lot more stories to come out of the NBA and teams start putting the pieces together as we continue forward. So let's take our first break. When we come back, we're going to go around the diamond. We have not touched baseball in a while. We're about halfway home. There's a mover and a shaker right now because there's injuries on one team. There's another team playing well. The gap has gotten really tight. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more when we return.
All right. So with the pending transaction, they're going to get off a cap hit of $40 million with LaMelo. The cap hit they're going to get from Naz Reid.
The Hornets are going to get off of it.
Yeah. So now the Hornets are going to pick up the $23 million cap hit on Naz Reid. So you do the math. You're making you're making up 16 and a half, 17 there, which if you open up $16.5 million in free cap space, that'll help you balance the books. Miles Bridges is on 22.8 as a cap hit, which isn't completely terrible. Brandon Miller's on 15. Josh Green's going to get moved off this pretty soon. Grant Williams is on 14. Concanipple's on 10. Like they don't have anybody really on like major contracts. Steinbach's going to be $5 million probably. Christian Anderson's going to be $4 million. So
they're set up.
They don't really have anybody major coming in. So, and they have that Kobe White cap hit if they want to take that up. Interesting times for Charlotte.
Yeah. Poorly ran for so many years.
Yeah.
I'll see. MLB got a lot of stuff in there.
I don't know. It's an interesting move. I'll say that.
What do we got here?
I got a stat to bring up when we talk baseball.
Let's go.
The Boston Red Sox.
It is not. It's about the Washington Nationals.
No, I'm sad.
I could do away with talking about the Boston Red Sox.
By the way, I'm pretty sure I had a bad beat last night.
Why is that?
I bet the over on that game.
Which
I
one?
think they ended up at a combined 9 runs, and it was 9.5.
Which one? The
Nationals, Phillies.
oh,
The other leg of my parlay hit it was Dodgers money line, but I was this close. I was
That
one
close.
run away.
One run away.
No, gotcha. Got to be quicker than that. All right, here we go.
Here we go. Welcome back in the morning hookup. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Thursday morning. Hope your Thursday's off to a great start. Leading up to the weekend. Baseball, man, we're about halfway through. When you look at standing stuff, about what are we about? Oh, yeah, 79 games. So we're getting close to halfway. And we'll go through standings and look at things, see how things have changed. Yankees still holding a little 3-game lead out there in the East, American League East, playing well. They're winners of 6 of their last 10. Boy, a lot of those other teams just struggling to stay afloat right now. When you look at it, they got 2 teams over 500. Tampa Bay still hanging strong right there. They're losers of 6 out of their last 10. When you look at that one, boy, the story is still, man, the White Sox hanging strong through 79 games. They're in a virtual tie right now at the top of that one with Cleveland. Right now, that'll be a great story if they're able to maintain what they're going on. Right now, they're giving the White Sox a 69% chance to make the postseason, and the best chance still to win the division at 45.8.
Good on the White Sox, man. I mean, they're ahead of schedule. They brought in Murakami. They made some tools. They got some rats at the top of that lineup. Sam Antonacci is a rat. That's the best way to describe it. It's an endearing way to describe him. He is a pesky at bat. He is an old school at bat as a guy who does not give up very much in the strike zone. It's a fun team. It's a breath of fresh air on baseball to have a team so young and so exciting, making their way through, doing it and figuring out the rotation. Davis Martin's been awesome this year. It's a fun story with Chicago White Sox, and I think it's becoming realer and realer by the day just because of how bad that division is. Oh, my goodness. But I digress. The White Sox have been a really awesome story.
are they buyers at the deadline?
I would say so.
Probably
maybe? I don't know.
maybe a couple rotational pieces, but
They are buyers on the clearance rack at the deadline.
Yeah.
Maybe not big time.
yeah.
They're not going to give up the
top
farm,
dog, no.
but they'll sprinkle it here and there. They'll splash a little cash on a deal that they see. It's like you go into the grocery store and you seeing that, hey, maybe this bag of grapes says buy one, get one free.
Mhm.
You're going to take on a deal like that, right?
The other out west, Seattle holds a 2.5 game lead on both Houston and the Athletics. They're currently, by the way, when you look at this, I know we're still only about halfway there. 5 teams in all the American League over 500.
Hey, Weinstein can agree with me on this. I think the Mariners piggybacking their starters is stupid.
Oh,
I hate it. It's the worst thing ever. You have 6 bona fide starters. At some point, you got to just take the bait, cut the line, and just say,
And
Luis Castillo, you are not good, my brother.
every time Bryce Miller comes out, he shoves for 5 innings and has 50 to 60 pitches, and their manager says, "Okay, time to pull him.
We're good."
We have to throw Luis Castillo because he's on our team." Instead of putting him in the bullpen or just not playing him, they feel obligated to put him in the game. And then they end up losing the game every single time that they do that. It makes no sense. It's the dumbest thing in baseball.
Yeah, he comes in and he's a gas can. I mean, the guy's just throwing fuel on the fire for opposing offenses to go crazy at him. Here's the funny thing. So as bad as we talk about the Royals and the Angels and the Red Sox being, they're 6 games out of a wild card, 5.5 out of a wild card. If you're the Royals, they're not completely out of this thing.
You're not dead yet.
The Red Sox could realistically be buyers at the deadline. Get that through your head. The Red Sox could buy at the deadline. Craig Breslow could find a way to do another move that can make Red Sox fans hate his guts even more. But that's the funny thing is the entire AL West is 1 game out of the wild card. The Orioles and the Twins are 2, and then the Tigers are 5 back. With how bad and abysmal some of those teams have been, they still got a shot at making the playoffs. This sucker's wide open. I can't say the same for the National League. The real standard in baseball.
Yeah, the real standard, I guess, right now. There's as many teams in the East above 500 No, there are. There are as many teams in the East above 500. They're all in the American League. Atlanta's still at the top, clinging. They're reeling right now, by the way. I think they've only won 3 of their last 13. Boy, a team that's playing really well is Philadelphia. They've crept within 4.5. That was as many as 9, 10 just a month or so ago. Atlanta injuries are creeping up on them, and they're going to loom really large right now. Still, Strider back to the 60. Acuna, we don't really know the hamstring. Sean Murphy is still sitting out there on the 60. Could be a detriment to Atlanta's success. They're still 48-31, 4.5 ahead. But the Phillies, watch out. They've caught a little bit of wind, and they can see the top now. And maybe they're going to reach out and try to get there.
Yeah, the Chicago Cubs have actually figured out how to play baseball, which is actually unfortunate because did you see who they traded for yesterday? They traded for a gas can. They traded for David Peterson from the Mets. But no, the Phillies have been awesome since Madden League came in. They're one of the best teams in baseball. Yep. The Cubs have found a resurgence. They've won 3 games. They're 7-3 in their last 10.
Yep. But Milwaukee has held pace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Milwaukee has held pace. The Marlins are sneakily 7-3 in their last 10, and they're 1.5 games out of a wild card. The St. Louis Redbirds, St. Louis Cardinals are currently a half game of the wild card. There's a Thursday game today. Chance to split a 4-game set with the Diamondbacks, which, please, Lord, they have pummeled us. Give me something with Michael McGreevy on the bump. And then you go play the Marlins. So fun little couple of swing series to see if the Cardinals are actually going to be buyers, sellers at the deadline. I've got a couple hypotheticals for you, fellas. So we'll play buy or sell as of right now. Let's start here. So the Pirates are 3 games out of a wild card at exactly 500. Are you buying or are you selling if you're the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Boy.
That one feels really tough because I feel like they have solid pieces. They probably need some bullpen arms is what they need. They have solid starters and a pretty solid lineup, but they have nothing in the bullpen.
think this is what you have to decide. When you're looking at that for the Pirates, are you looking about the groupings of teams that you're around and which ones are pretenders and which ones are not in the wild card? The Nationals are ahead of you. Yes or no? The Diamondbacks are sitting there ahead of you. The Marlins are ahead of you. But then you got the Padres sitting there and just barely out, 2 games out. Then the Pirates have to make the decision is it real? Is it real? Can we get to that level and jump those teams? So can we make moves that make us better than the pretenders maybe in front? Maybe the Nationals aren't real. Because you don't see them buying at the deadline, do you? It just doesn't feel like they're buying.
They could.
The Diamondbacks might. Do the Marlins? Is there money? It just, if I'm a Pirates fan, I'm going, man, I don't know. Or the Pirates GM, I'm like, do we or do we not because of who's in front of us?
Is this they have a final game of a series against Seattle, and they go play Cincinnati. After that Cincinnati series, is that the time where you decide?
Yep.
Okay.
Because you can get Cincinnati's right behind you about, 2.5 games behind the Pirates.
Yeah, they're 5.5 out. So if they get on a run here, the Reds could realistically go make a run of the playoffs. If you're the Nationals, are you buyers or sellers? Or do you stand pat?
Buy.
You're a buy. I am on board with that. I love that.
They need pitching so bad. The offense is electric, and not just starting pitching. They need bullpen arms too. I was looking at this. Was the stat I was going to bring up. I was looking at before we came on. The Nationals have had 46 save opportunities this season, and they have converted on like 23 of them.
Oh my God, that's like 50% or less, roughly.
If
you're doing 50%, wow.
If you cut that even more in half, if they would have converted on like 13 more of those save opportunities out of 46, they'd be like 52-24. They'd be the best team in baseball if they had any sort of pitching depth or anything. But they have nothing in the bullpen. They have Miles Michaelis and Zach Littell that they trot out there every 5 days.
Hey, Miles Michaelis did a job yesterday. They lost, but he did a job.
Still not having a good season.
Lost, but he did a job.
They need to buy. You need to build around those young pieces that they have because the lineup is a young, pesky lineup. Jacob Young, Dalen Lyle, James Wood, CJ Abrams, Luis Garcia,
Dylan Cruz.
Still
hanging around.
They have tons of pieces in that lineup that they can hit the cover off the baseball, but you can only score so many runs if your pitcher is going out there giving up 7 every game.
All right, let's get to a fun one. How about the Diamondbacks? if you're the Diamondbacks, you're 2 games out. Are you buying? Are you buying at the deadline? They have pummeled my Cardinals while having one of the most middling offenses in baseball, which really annoys me. I can't lie. That really ticks me off. But they face the bottom of the rotation, then Matthew Liberatore. So the bottom of the rotation. The Diamondbacks, 2 games out of the wild card. You buying or you selling? They might need some pitching help here, fellas.
They do too.
Pitching.
It seems to be a common trend that a lot of these teams need arms, but Merrill Kelly's not having a good season. Zach Gallen's not having a good season.
If I looked at it right, isn't Erod kind of having a bounce back?
Erod's been their best pitcher by far. I think he's sitting around like a sub 2.5 ERA.
Him and Michael Soroka, who's been a revelation for them.
Those two have been they're 1 and 2 for sure. But I don't know if you can go into playoff play with just a 1 and 2 and then also have nothing coming out of the bullpen that is a threat. And then also, even like you said, the lineup, they're kind of just middle of the pack. They have guys up at the top of the lineup like Marte and Carroll and Perdomo that will provide, base hits every now and then. But outside of that, nothing really scares you. You go down the lineup and you can find your way through outs. You get to Marte and Carroll, and that's where you start to get scared. But other than that, I'm not really frightened by anybody in that lineup.
It's interesting times. It'll be interesting to watch as messy as part of this looks of those teams, which one become aggressive, because it is messy.
Do the Marlins get aggressive?
I don't know. That's we haven't mentioned them yet.
I would like it if the Marlins got aggressive.
And then at that point, who becomes aggressive and who do they partner up with? What are those teams they're going to partner with?
Because we know San Diego's going to be aggressive. Can we just all say that?
Yep,
we think San Diego's going to buy
doubt.
the deadline.
There's no doubt. I mean,
I don't know what they have in the farm system to buy with. They've kind of emptied the cupboard on everything, but they're probably going to buy.
They're going to buy. They do it every time. They're right there just to get in and whatever they do. But it's who are they going to pair up with? And then who's going to be looking at the Mets roster as the Mets are doing what the Mets do again? They're 12 games under 500, losers of 5 straight.
If I'm the Cardinals, if I want to buy somebody, I'm calling up Boston. I'm going, hey, Craig Breslow, you want to sell us Chapman?
Breslow and Shane Bloom probably are pretty good friends behind the scenes.
Hey,
they did some deals last year, and you guys got a ton of our pieces.
And they're pretty nice.
If you give us JJ Weatherholt, you can have Earl Chapman. That's all that I ask.
You're gonna need a little bit more than that to get JJ Weatherholt. He's been quite wonderful. But it's not like that's the thing is like the Red Sox could realistically buy at the deadline. I think the Cubs. I said it before. I think the Cubs will buy at the deadline if they got within 5 games in the wild card.
No doubt
now they're
about
in
it.
a wild card.
Now they're in a way. They're buying.
They're buying. They got to buy. If you're the Chicago Cubs, you got to buy. Even though you bought a gas can, David Peterson, and I'm going to laugh at you for all of eternity because that guy can't pitch in the major leagues for whatever reason right now. I think that they're going to buy. I think they're going to find pieces. The problem is how many teams are going to be willing to part with arms, because everybody needs arms to this deadline, like YZ so adeptly pointed out. Everybody needs arms. Who's going to be selling and who's going to be willing to charge a premium for those arms? Because this is a supply and demand economy. Somebody's got to supply the demand. If the supply ain't that great, that price is going to get jacked up. Somebody could make out the end of this deadline really good. I'm telling you that, which is why, if the Cardinals decide to sell high on a couple of their guys, I'm not going to be the most mad, because if you sell high on some of those guys and you get some crazy value because there is a shortage in the market, more power to you. Like Dustin May might command a lot of attention at this deadline. Tarek Skubal is going to command a whole lot of attention at this deadline.
Going to bring that up. ESPN has a really nice article out there about top trade candidates and their percentage of being traded. Skubal's number 1, by the way. There's 85. They're getting this an 85% chance for him. Also likes of Byron Buxton. He's out there in Minnesota.
Yeah, he's
Jeremy Pena, shortstop, Houston. Joe Ryan, Minnesota. Looks like Minnesota's got a few guys on the list. Washington Nationals, they've got CJ Abrams. Now, there's a low percentage of some of these guys, but just think about some of the names that are on there. The Angels have a few guys out there. Soriano on that list out there as well. There you go. At number 8, Chapman, Boston Red Sox. They're giving that a 90% chance right now that he does move on. They move him on. Wilson Contreras, first base. They've got him on the list as well. You talk about the Marlins. There's a list of a plethora of candidates out there and their percentage. something to take a peek at. And I think that will kind of give you a thought or an avenue to go, all right, they're selling or they're buying along the lines.
Yeah, and there's some real nice pieces. The Marlins don't think that it's sustainable. They can cash in on Sandy Alcantara. That'll be pretty good for them. The Mets can cash in on Freddie Peralta, who has not had the greatest season in the Big Apple. Chapman's really interesting. The guy that I look at that could really be awesome is somebody going to go pluck Reed Detmers.
Ooh, he's on the list, maybe.
Why? I don't know why he's a Reed Detmers guy, but I've always been a Reed Detmers guy, and I really like him. He could get into a real nice destination, get himself a payday, and he could bring in a really nice haul for a left-handed pitcher who's got the fourth most strikeouts in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. Him and Soriano, like you could get a major crop if you're the Angels and they play this right. But it's already Moreno and the Angels, so they probably won't play this right. They'll probably try to go all in for some reason. I give up with them.
I give up.
Joe Ryan's nice. Joe Ryan could command a major market if Skubal doesn't actually end up moving. I quite like Joe Ryan.
Pitching will be the key to this.
Mm-hmm.
Arms for days, which is interesting because I deem this, a while back. This has been the year of the pitcher. I think pitching has been superior to hitting.
Mm-hmm.
As a collective, I think pitching has been top priority for a lot of teams. You look at some of the dominance that's going on, whether it be like starting on the bump, the bullpen. You can look at those teams that are at the top of their game right now. Pitching. You can see ones that are struggling, lack of pitching.
Do you think ABS has any factor into that? With guys having to be more precise?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably does factor into that.
Maybe actually having to pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Can't steal strikes. Catchers can be pretty good framers, but with the ABS,
Hooks, what would you do if you threw a something painted on the corner and call it for a strike, and then the batter taps his helmet? How would that make you feel?
I'm like, go ahead, man.
and then you find out it missed by 0.3.
Yeah,
they show the replay. And it's
I just think
that much off.
That whole ABS, like I'm for it. Get it right. It's quick and effective and get it right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say this with like, man, yeah, it's accurate, but man, what's the lead way? Like, it's crazy. Like, I think it points that it makes the umpire sometimes look bad.
Yeah,
because it missed by this.
Right.
It's
just outside.
It has drastically improved the pace of play, though.
Yes,
which is
totally with it.
Yes,
I think what they've done so far too, like the pitch clock. Yes, pace of play. I'm all about it.
We talk about like the technology that soccer has and how we wish that America would bring that into more sports. I think that's kind of like this technology. I like the ABS, but there are just little tweaks that we could make where if something is barely touching the zone and the majority of the ball is not in the strike zone, I think that should be a ball. But
it's interesting
for where it's at right now and it being in its first year. I think it's pretty solid.
It's gotten better. For sure.
It is really solid, and it's part of this changes in the pace of play changes that have made it really watchable, and it's awesome to see that the product is evolving in that way where it's like, hey, baseball's fun and it's cool again. Baseball viewership's on the rise, man.
Oh yeah,
more kids now than ever getting involved and interested in baseball, which is really, really awesome. The pace of play has helped things. I think that's really good. And I think the MLB is moving in a very positive direction. And I think that's good because Rob Manfred really needed some good cred after what happened with the whole COVID fiasco. And my one rule change, please get rid of the stupid ghost runners and extra innings. Let's play it straight up. Please. Give me one pace of play. Let's play it straight up.
At that point, it's exciting enough.
Or if you're going to do the ghost runner, have one out. I think to have no outs kind of puts some teams
or just put the runner at first.
Yeah.
Something like that. He doesn't need
slow pitch softball, baby. D-League.
He didn't need to start scoring position. If you want to start him at first.
Agree.
Make him bunt him over.
Awesome, boys. Good stuff there. A little major league. We're almost halfway through the league right now. And there'll be a lot of stories, a lot of trades coming up, the deadlines, movers and shakers coming up. It'd be interesting to watch as well. So let's take our final break of the hour. We'll come back with This Day in Sports.
Hoaxie forgot it's This Day in Yankee Hate.
I know, I forgot. We haven't had it. Sports have been it's been a plethora of stuff to talk about. We haven't gotten to this segment in a while.
Yeah, This Day in Yankee Hate. There's got to be a good one on here.
Speaking of extra inning rules, we played a tournament. Well, it was no, it wasn't the Sunbuster. Oh, it was the Sunbuster, but we were
It's
talking.
just
We were
unique rules.
we were talking to one of the umpires, and we were trying to figure out what the extra inning rule was, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've played some games where they do bases loaded, 1 out." Why?
What state rule is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because there's Texas, California. What else is there?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but this umpire, he must have chugged 3 Red Bulls before he came out there, just ready to go the whole time, and conversations just. Come on, coaches and I were looking at each other like, "What is going on?"
What the hell did he eat?
And then his strike calls, he was just so animated, just.
By the way, we might not get to it, but just in case you are aware, yes, I am a fan of Mauricio Pochettino deciding to rest all of our guys on a yellow card for a game against a wild animal.
Yeah. No, we got World Cup coming up.
Okay.
Tell them now we're
Okay.
number 2.
Because I get to, so now I just get to have a whole segment to just brag about how awesome America is and how we are completely ruining the sport of soccer with our dominance and athletic excellence.
Got you on there.
That's right. That's right. A country with the biggest freak athletes in the world. If they start loving soccer, it's over.
I thought Haiti was going to pull off the incredible yesterday, and then Morocco was like, "Okay, let's lock in, guys."
Yeah, Morocco said, whoa, that wasn't in the contract. That's good. That's funny.
What else we got today?
I got a great one in this day in Yankee hate. I mean, a great one, Hooksy.
I love it.
Ooh, Curacao today. Ugh. Tunisia against the Netherlands. Oh, Lord.
The U.S., brother. The U.S. I don't care about Paraguay, Australia. That might actually be the more consequential match. Do you know how stress-free it's gonna be watching my team, knowing that they're in the round of 32, which is so weird to say. You should just be the round of 16. What a bunch of freaking weirdos. I think the U.S. path is confirmed.
Has it been out there?
I think it's confirmed. I think they're playing Bosnia. Now, it all depends on some results today.
Have you seen the implications of, I think it's Australia and Algeria?
Yeah.
It's basically better for them to draw because the winner is going to end up playing Spain. So it's more of an incentive for both teams to finish the game 0-0 or 1-1.
Yeah, it must be results today. I look at the bracket. It does not have anybody there yet.
Let me look.
Yeah, it's Austria and Algeria.
Let's look at some paths here, Hooksy. So Germany's confirmed in.
Yep. We've got a South Africa-Canada matchup confirmed.
That's confirmed.
Morocco confirmed.
Canada.
U.S.
has
confirmed.
Meh.
Canada has looked big booty cheeks.
That other side is Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, Switzerland, all confirmed.
No, thank you.
Stay away from that.
Get away from me. Boo.
Yeah, that is nuts.
Stinky. Yeah, Mexico could go over there and play the bracket of death. We'll be chilling over here with our boys from Bosnia.
Yeah.
Oh, Justice, how about Gage Jump from the Athletics?
He's fun.
I
like him.
Really good.
I'm a big Gage Jump fan.
Through 6 starts, 35 innings pitched, 35 strikeouts, 2.04 ERA, 0.96 WHIP. Those are really solid numbers.
I have been a fan of Gage Jump. I am even bigger of a fan of Gage Jump. He's been incredible. Just turn off ads on his YouTube again. Tired of this. Figure it out, Elijah.
The sole first-round pick the Wolves got was in 2023, which means they traded for an 11-year-old.
Heck yeah. Chestnut checkers, baby. Chestnut checkers. All right, we're going to have 7 minutes here, fellas. Be whatever we want.
Beautiful.
Here we go.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Few moments left. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Thursday. Appreciate you. Yeah. Good morning, everybody out there on the stream as well. Morning, FloodX. Morning, Arlo. Good morning, Shane.
We need to flame Elijah real quick because is this Tame Impala I see on here? What are we doing? Are we sad? Is Elijah just sad making candles alone in this kitchen?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a happy Tame Impala song. It's a sad Tame Impala song. It's like Elijah. If you are depressed, my brother, during this wedding season, it is okay. I will go grab a brew. It is no big deal to the J man to go out and grab a cold one.
Yeah, but
make
Elijah,
a brother feel better.
Hey, reach out to us, my man.
It is okay to ask for help in this time of need.
He might be in recovery mode this morning.
Yeah, he might be. That might actually be what it is.
Yeah.
He woke up and he's like, I just need something to get me through my morning.
Yeah, we gave it. We're like, hey, I know you got what you got going on tonight, but we'll need you back.
Yeah, he's gotta be back tomorrow. We can't.
We got to put together though for tomorrow.
We're good.
I'm gonna be remote. You're gonna be on the ones and twos.
Yeah, we'll be good.
Elijah will show up at some point.
He will be here at some point.
Mine will be from a car at a ball field.
It's kind of like one of those bullpen games where you're out of starters. It's like, hey, we need you. You gotta throw a few innings.
We're just picking up innings here.
We got an opener.
I'm gonna give you a couple outs tomorrow. That's what you need from me. I got a couple outs for you, live from the ballpark tomorrow. But we'll be just fine. Talk about, man, what about a debut in 1968? Bobby Bonds hit a grand slam in his first major league game.
Wonder where his kid got it from.
Yeah.
Hey, in 1903, in this day in Yankee hate, the New York Yankees and the Chicago White Sox ended a game deadlocked at 6-6 after 18 innings. You mean to tell me you couldn't beat the Chicago White Sox in any era? What are we doing?
I just saved that one for you.
18 innings. 6-6. You couldn't scrape one across with how big and bad the Yankees were. That's why they won most of their titles before Jackie Robinson entered the league. Tired of this.
In 1988, one of my favorite players to ever play the game of baseball, Cal Ripken Jr., played in his 1,000th consecutive game.
Now, then little did we know how long he'd go in that. So this day in 1997, NBA Draft Talk, it was a Wake Forest power forward picked first overall by the San Antonio Spurs. Timmy Duncan.
Nice.
He used to absolutely pulverize people at Wake Forest.
I forgot about this. In this day in sports, the Luis Suarez biting incident against in 2014. I think this is the World Cup after he had the handball on the line against Ghana, which is really funny. If you actually look into the career arc of Luis Suarez, he's got some really funny moments. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that was today in sports. That's pretty awesome, actually.
Well, Hug, speaking of Tim Duncan, just 2 years after he was drafted, the San Antonio Spurs beat the New York Knicks in Game 5 for the first title in franchise history, and your Finals MVP, the one and only Tim Duncan.
Yep. Was that we want to say alongside David Robinson, correct?
Yes.
How about this one? In 2018, Oakland pitcher Edwin Jackson took the mound in a 5-4 win at Detroit. That was with his 13th Major League Ball club.
Attaboy.
Tying.
Octavio Dutell.
Yeah.
MLB Immaculate Grid legend.
How about that?
In 1934, New York Yankee Lou Gehrig hits for the cycle, beating the White Sox 11-2. So you couldn't do this earlier. You couldn't do it in 1903. You had to end the game after 18 innings. We were all deadlocked. We couldn't do anything else. Why not just get a time machine and move Lou Gehrig back about 30 years and then have him do the same thing?
Love it.
Might have helped you.
I got a good one if you want one, because it's just not Yankee hate, but it's Met hate.
Oh, yeah.
You got that
Go
one?
ahead.
Read it. No, read that one. That's a good one.
I'm not on that one. I got a different one.
In 2023, the Phillies sent 10 batters to the plate in an 8th inning and scored 4 runs on 1 hit. 3 walks, 2 hit batters, and an error for a 7-6 win of the visiting Mets.
Yikes.
Of course that's the Mets. Of course that is a New York Metropolitans moment.
Yeah.
You have to elongate the name for those kind of names.
1 hit, 4 runs, 1 hit. 6 free passes.
Well, you brought up that stat about Edwin Jackson and how he had pitched for his 13th MLB club that day. He must really like this day in particular in history, because in 2010, when he was on the Diamondbacks, 8 years before he was on the Athletics, he threw a no-hitter against another one of his former teams, the Tampa Bay Rays, in a 1-0 victory.
Hey, in 1934, New York Yankees pitcher John Broaca ties the record by striking out 5 times in a ball game. This is utter futility.
That's
I
ridiculous.
think the Yankees need to burn this day in sports. I think they
Yep.
just need to
Just
remove
burn
this
it all
from
down.
the memory. Do they
Well,
play today?
you
They're
ha-
going to do something terrible today.
You have the golden sombrero. What do you call it if you strike 5 times in one game?
The diamond sombrero is what I've coined that.
Okay.
The diamond sombrero.
Boys, speaking of good stuff out of there, how far we've come in 2015 NBA draft. There was a Kentucky center taken number 1 by the T-Wolves. Karl Anthony Towns.
There you
11
go.
years later, guess what you are, sir? An NBA champion.
There you go. Hey, YZ, congratulations. You are playing the New York Yankees today, which means you'll probably hit 4 grand slams in an inning.
The 2026 Red Sox hitting 4 grand slams.
It's the Yankees on this day in history.
Oh, true.
They're due to do something terrible for us.
Hey, sad note on this day in sports. In 1986, the Philadelphia Phillies give Steve Carlton his unconditional release. On this day in Cardinals hate, they traded Steve Carlton. They traded Steve Carlton, who might be the second best pitcher in franchise history for his time there. Just saying that. He wasn't there long, but he might be the second best pitcher in franchise history because, yeah, we traded Steve Carlton. Are you freaking kidding me?
How's that possible?
What was our front office doing?
How's
Anyway,
that possible? Come on,
anyway,
man.
I don't know. Sometimes I look back at Cardinals history and some of them baffle
Shake
me.
your head.
For every Lou Brock, there is a Steve Carlton. By meaning for every good trade, there is a downright awful one.
What else we got out there? Oh,
Look at that timing. Coming up, we're going to jump in a little Big Ten Media Days. World Cup. We will talk World Cup. There's a lot to be talked about in the World Cup.
Real quick, in 1935, Joe Louis moves to 20-0 with a 6-round KO of Primo Carnera in Yankee Stadium. Another case of a Yankee getting knocked out. Anyway.
That's amazing. Coming up, you guys, a whole lot more. Sit back, relax. We'll be right back.
Sizzling concessions. Yeah, that's the sound of summer at Haymarket Park. It's been that way for 25 seasons. And in this city, it's not a matter of if you'll catch a game, it's how many. That's because there's always something in play for Salt Dogs fans. From saluting our troops to Friday night fireworks, your local tradition plays on. Let's show summer how Lincoln celebrates 25 seasons. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
My name is Alana. I was 6 years old, and I got diagnosed with cancer. I come to St. Jude for treatment.
After her last treatment on December the 4th, I was just kind of having a conversation with her, letting her know, Alana, you did awesome. I mean, so proud of you. Like, you fought, you accepted whatever was happening, you went with it. And her words to me were, Mommy, thank you so much for helping me get through this. She said, I could not have done this without you. This was very hard. And I couldn't even hold my tears because when I think about it, I would not have been able to get through this without St. Jude. And so once we became part of the St. Jude family, everything was okay. Thank you, St. Jude, for helping me get her through this because I wouldn't have been able to do it without them.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
I'm Siniqua Martin Green, and when my mother was diagnosed with cancer, our world changed forever. This experience made me so passionate about spreading awareness of treatment options, including clinical trials. I'm joining Stand Up to Cancer to get information to those who have been diagnosed with cancer and their loved ones. Clinical trials introduce new hope for patients, providing access to cutting-edge new treatments. Talk to your doctor to see if the clinical trial may be the best choice for you or a loved one.
Lincoln's local news, talk, sports, and weather station. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, and KFRX HD3, Lincoln.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The Supreme Court has sided with the Trump administration on a pair of cases involving immigration. ABC national correspondent Stephen Portnoy is in Washington with the details.
In 2 separate immigration cases, the court split 6-3 along ideological lines, with the conservative majority rejecting the arguments of immigrant rights groups. Both opinions were written by Justice Samuel Alito, who said that would-be asylum seekers in Mexico aren't entitled to make their claims unless they actually reach the U.S. side of the border. Alito also wrote that the government can strip the temporary protected status granted to Haitians and Syrians that has allowed them to stay in the U.S.
The High Court also siding with the maker of Roundup Weed Killer in a ruling that's expected to block thousands of lawsuits alleging that Monsanto failed to warn customers that its product could cause cancer. The search goes on for survivors in Venezuela following 2 devastating earthquakes. 164 people were killed, nearly 1,000 injured, but people are still believed to be trapped under the rubble. Jason Wang is an American in Caracas who got video of the tremors happening.
I was about to board the cable car, so I started recording myself going in, and the whole building just started shaking. The floor under me was shaking. And then all of a sudden, everyone started panicking. We were just rushing for the door to exit the building, and none of us knew what was going on until a few minutes afterwards we realized we got hit with a massive earthquake.
The Federal Reserve's primary gauge for tracking inflation shows prices last month were up 4.1% over May of last year. Several tankers have made their way out of the Strait of Hormuz using a new route. Oil prices also going down. Prosecutors in New York say they will drop a rape charge against Harvey Weinstein instead of trying the movie mogul for a 4th time. The alleged victim says she cannot endure another trial. Weinstein still stands convicted of another sexual felony in New York and others in California. This is ABC News.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
A new educational campaign on waste management. Good morning. I'm Jeff Moats. Cloudy, 68 degrees at KFOR. City leaders today announced a new Love Your Landfill education campaign. It's a way to waste less and recycle more, which includes a mascot named Landfill. Lincoln Transportation Utilities Director Liz Elliott.
Our goal is simple: to make reducing waste and recycling easy to understand and easy to do.
The campaign is a way to help recycle correctly and saving waste by extending the life of the landfill up on Highway 77 and Bluff Road and preventing it from filling up too quickly. Support through an investment of $1.7 million in grant money from the EPA went toward understanding how Lincolnites recycle. Lincoln Police Department's traffic unit conducted a special traffic enforcement project on Highway 77 and Warlick Boulevard on Wednesday. There have been several serious crashes at the intersection recently, including a fatal crash nearly 2 weeks ago. There have been complaints as well about vehicles speeding through the construction zone. Traffic Sergeant Sarah Genoways.
We decided to come out here as a whole team to address it, try and make it a little bit safer for everybody in this road.
Genoways says they clocked 25 drivers over a 2-hour period Wednesday going between 60 and 79 miles per hour through a 50-mile-per-hour construction zone. Traffic unit officers were able to pull over nearly all of them and issue speeding citations. Work done by Lincoln Police and Centerpoint in making the co-responder program successful has received national recognition. Recently, LPD investigator Doug Headley and Centerpoint's Amber Dirks presented the program Badges, Boundaries, and Buy-In, making co-response work from the start at the 7th Annual National Co-Responder Conference down in Dallas.
We'll highlight best practices for developing and implementing co-response programs to support those experiencing behavioral health crises.
LPD Public Information Manager Erica Thomas says in just 16 months, Lincoln's co-responder unit has grown into a model that's now helping agencies across the country build their own programs. Mostly cloudy today. There's a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms and a high of 74. I'm Jeff Moats, KFOR News.
Let's go. At Liberty First Credit Union, you don't have to wait to drive the vehicle that you really want. With auto loan rates as low as 2.99%, you can be cruising in a sleek new SUV, sporty coupe, or the perfect family ride loaded with features. Take advantage of low monthly payment options, no prepayment penalties, and financing handled locally by people that you know and you trust. Liberty First Credit Union. Let's go save. Credit factors apply. Rates, terms, and conditions subject to change.
December 7th, 1941.
We interrupt this broadcast
The nation didn't check a screen. They gathered around the radio. Breaking news, urgent, real, immediate.
Here is a flash.
In one moment, radio connected an entire country. Through peace, through history, radio has always been there. 250 years of America.
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Welcome back in the Morning Hookup, hour number 2. I dug into that one. I was talking about my obliques are a little sore from throwing and playing golf. When I dug into that right there and hunched down, got me.
That's good.
Ooh. All good. Welcome back in. Lots to get to. We're going to, I was going to go one route, audible, because I know it's such a big day. It's a World Cup. We'll get to football and Big Ten media stuff. We'll get there. We'll get there, okay?
I'm glad we're talking about this as
World Cup.
As we dissuade half the listening audience.
America tonight. You're in already, by the way.
Can we take a sidebar on that real quick?
Yeah.
I was told all this stuff about Turkey. I was told that they've got this attacking talent. I was told that they've got a midfield engine room that could be rivaled by few. I was told that they're a dark horse for this World Cup. And you know what happens? Like any good turkey, they got knocked out of the sky. That's what happened.
Well, so far you got the goose egg, folks.
Goose egg. They got nothing. They got Gulair and Yildiz and Çalhanoğlu. That sounds like a bad law firm.
0-2 right now, bottom of Group D. When you look at that goal differential, -3. Wow. Pretty bad look.
Not good.
So just we'll look at World Cup. We're going to talk U.S., the slate of games coming up right now. The picture is starting to become a little more clear as you look at it. Right now, here's your ticket punch round 2, guys. Okay? Already punched. Germany, they're in, waiting their opponent. South America, Canada. Question mark. Canada in. Morocco, you're in. Congrats. United States, right there you are. You're in. You're on the good side, by the way, because you look at that other side.
That other side is nasty,
Woo!
nasty.
These are the teams that have punched their ticket so far. Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, Switzerland on that side.
And England.
Are they in there? I didn't see their name.
Well, if they win their next match, they're going to be in.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be on that side of the bracket.
Just official right now. All those have punched their ticket. And there's a full slate today. Was there six matches today, I believe?
Yes, there
Maybe
is.
More. 6.
You got Curacao, Ivory Coast. You got Ecuador, Germany, which is pretty fun. Japan, Sweden's fun. Tunisia, Netherlands is fun. Paraguay, Australia, Turkey, USA. They're really not a bad game on the slate.
Not really.
In
Now,
any time slot, you can have one of your choosing that is good.
Now we'll be tuned in. United States, Turkey.
United
States already in. We had a lot of questions about how the U.S. would play this based on which I did not know. I am learning about this sport.
That's okay.
It's the yellow card thing.
Yes, the yellow card rule.
So explain me the yellow card rule. Explain it to our listeners because Elijah brought me like, well, why would we not go to win? Play everybody. Because I'm like, why don't you just keep the flow going? It's like sports, right? You probably go into a first half and say, hey, we're already in, but let's keep the legs fresh. Let's keep them moving just a little bit, and then we'll flip it up in the second half. And he's like, wait a minute. We have some yellow card rule problems.
We do. So with the yellow card rule, it's a really fascinating thing. So if you get one yellow card in the World Cup, you're okay. There's not really a penalty. You don't have to worry about it. But there is the threat of getting that second yellow card. And 2 yellows in soccer is a red. And what does a red mean? That's a 1-game suspension.
Okay.
If you get 2 yellows, which results in a red, that is a 1-game suspension, which means no matter what, you got to serve it your immediate next game. So if one of the players for the U.S. was on a yellow and they picked up another yellow, it doesn't matter if they could still continue in this match. That means the next match, they can't continue. They got to sit one out.
Wait a minute. We can't, like in most pro sports, we can't like appeal.
You can appeal yellow cards.
And then you can still play.
So you can appeal. If you think that a booking decision was egregious, you can go through the appeal process. The problem with that is the refs are a little crooked these days, and they don't really like saying that they're wrong. So sometimes will they repeal red cards? Yes, they will go to VAR. They will say, wait a minute, was this wrong? And they will go, absolutely not. We're the best at our jobs in the world. You guys can take your appeal and stick it where the sun don't shine. But there is an appeal process, and sometimes these cards do get removed and expunged from your record. It's just like a driving ticket. If you pay it off, or, if you go a certain amount of time without getting another ticket in that certain state, you can get that ticket expunged from your record, and then your insurance goes down. It's kind of how it works in soccer. So, yeah, the U.S. resting their guys because I'm pretty sure they're in, but they might have the group sealed. Depends on some other results tonight. So, yeah, if one of Australia or Paraguay were to win, doesn't really matter unless they win by more than 5 goals, because the U.S. actually has the edge in goal difference with +5. So pretty nice work by the U.S. there. They've scored 6. They've conceded 1. So with the U.S., the +5 goal difference, they have the group pretty much locked up, barring a major blowout by Australia or Paraguay, which, looking at those two teams, I don't really think that there's going to be a ton of goals tonight. But, yeah, that is what you were looking at when it comes to the yellow card rule. So the U.S. just said, you know what? We're playing Turkey. We got nothing to play for here. Might as well throw out some of our reserve bodies. Let's save our guys on yellows. Go into that round of 32 with fresh legs, which I think is a great strategy.
Big fan.
You already have the group. You already have a group sealed up. We don't need to do any more work. Just wipe the hands.
Move on.
Leave it clean.
We're done.
You don't need to do anything else. You're good.
Set us up a little bit. You're starting to. You got that match tonight. Turkey 9:00. Again, lock in. Go find out a place to watch it. Have a good time doing it. Supporting your country. We're hearing Bosnia, right?
Yes,
is that where we're at? Maybe
99% confirmed it will be Bosnia and Herzegovina that you are playing in the round of 32. That is now there is a Algeria wrinkle in there. I think there's another team in there that you could play. I got to look at this a little bit more, but it's 99% that it is Bosnia and Herzegovina, which, if you're the U.S., is a pretty decent draw, that you're getting the third place team out of a group. That's, and you came out of, if you're the U.S., a pretty decently difficult group on paper, right? Between what Paraguay was bringing in, with Australia, with what everybody thought Turkey was going to be. It was a decently difficult group, and, getting Bosnia, that's not bad. That's not a bad round of 32 draw. Now, you've set yourself up for the round of 16, which, as it stands right now, that round of 16 draw would be the winner of, I believe it's that Egypt-South Korea game. Yes. So if you were to win that, you would get a round of 16 against Egypt or South Korea, which at that point, if you're playing one of those two teams at the round of 16 as the U.S., you have met the threshold. You have achieved what you want to achieve.
What is the end goal? Like, obviously, there's a lot of people out there. Look at odds. This isn't a U.S. team. You're like, they're going to win it. They're one of the top 3-4 favorites to win it. Is that success? Is that where the USA say, obviously you want to win? I'm not sitting here going, all right, we don't want to win it. Let's just get to the 16. Is that checking the box for the U.S.?
If you get to 16, that is a good thing. Like, if you're getting to the round of 16, that is a good thing. I think expectations might shift ever so slightly just based on the bracket and the run that you're going to participate against, right? So now it might change to, hey, the U.S. needs to make it to the quarterfinal with the draw that they have, or that would be considered a disappointment. I am of the opinion, and the ever unchanged opinion, that if you make it to the round of 16, you were one of the best 16 teams in the World Cup, that is a win. That is a win for the United States, especially hosting on your home soil. That is a win. If you prove that you're one of the, if you get there and you are one of the final 8 teams remaining in a World Cup, you have more than done your job. You've more than done your job. You've achieved all you need to achieve. You may have slightly overachieved. But I tell you what, they got the makings to go make a run at this thing. I'm not going to say that the U.S. is going to win it all, but the U.S. could really knock around in some attics and really make some noise. It's exciting what's going on. You guys have seen it. You guys have watched the games. The U.S. has won in 2 completely different styles in 2 different matches. Yep. That's encouraging. You picked apart a good Paraguay team. Then Australia tried to sit back and defend the whole game after talking a bunch of mess on social media, which, by the way, cowards, don't sit back and defend if you're going to talk some mess. Everybody's going to say strategy. How about you try strategizing and attack the other way, buddy? But they won in 2 different styles, and that's encouraging. And now against Turkey, you're going to see some of the reserves probably. And you're going to see how deep you're going to see how deep this U.S. national team could be, because if they can squeak out a result against Turkey like that, that would be pretty massive. I can't lie. That would be pretty awesome if they with the reserves they were able to squeak out a result against Turkey, because that could tell you, hey, the U.S., they're primed and ready. Poch has this thing going.
Incredible stuff. 9:00 tonight. The World Cup has provided a lot of great entertainment. The fan bases, even my wife now is talking about they're following fan bases and the journeys of Europeans coming to America. There's been some great stories out there. Cabo Verde, one of them top of the line stories you look at. You look at the story of Algeria being in Lawrence, Kansas, that they've been brought into. It's been a magnificent World Cup, and now as the United States tries to continue their run into the second stage. 9:00 tonight, Fox, right? Is it 9 p.m. or is it 8 Central? Is it 9?
9 p.m. Central Time.
9 p.m. Central Time on Fox. Will you be awake?
I'll be awake.
Maybe. I'm an old man now.
I have an oblique injury. I don't know.
I do have to be up early tomorrow morning, so might be hitting the hay
a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So, all right, good stuff on the World Cup. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll jump in a little. There's a lot of moving and shaking happening in football and in college sports. Portal windows. There was another announcement just came out about pathways to bowl games in the Big Ten Media Days. Who we're sending, what that means, and a whole lot more when we return.
By changing the pathways to bowl games, you mean like getting rid of the bowl waiting window for those transitioning?
Yep.
Okay. I thought you were saying, like, we're going to let 4 and 5 win teams do a bowl game. Now I'm like, we're making Nebraska's job easier.
Yep. That was what I was hoping for. No, it is. They just announced it.
Troy Dannon buying us a bowl game.
You're going to see the list of the people that on the Nebraska football team that would be eligible for the 5x5 rule.
Yeah.
It's a pretty awesome list.
We'll go back to that too. And at some extent, were you there? You talked about it yesterday a little bit. You weren't here. Let's talk about that again when we come back, because it's not like there's some pretty awesome names, not just football, volleyball,
the whole class,
like
Bryce Sanford, Bowden Cap.
Yeah.
Now Bryce Sanford ain't coming back.
No, but I think for basketball, it's unique.
Barring something catastrophic happening to Bryce Sanford this year, which I do not wish it to him at all, that brother is gone.
Gone.
That brother is going to the league.
Did you see his TikTok yesterday?
No.
His golf TikTok?
It's him playing.
What, did you see him slay that?
It's him playing at Holmes Lake. Yeah.
Like a 500-plus yard. He was bombing it.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got a sweet swing. You should. Now, he ain't as good a golfer as Sam is. Sam should have probably been a collegiate golfer, but.
Doesn't his Price's sister play?
I think maybe. The one that Colin Rice is dating?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't know that. Yeah, no, he's basically a Sanford brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like adopted because he's dating the sister.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure T said something about Price's sister being a golfer because he's talked to their dad and stuff. I don't know, something like that.
I was getting the intel from T sitting in, apparently from the sit down you guys did with T yesterday is what I'm going to call it. It's not an interview; it's a sit down. I was getting the intel about that, about what T thinks about some of these guys. I tried to tell y'all about Jacob Lanier. I tried.
I
tried to tell everybody. I told the world. I said I got sources, and they say he's better than y'all think, and I was right. Not saying y'all were wrong, but I was right. There you go. Now I can get off my soapbox.
We'll let you be right. It's okay.
It's okay to be right.
It's okay to articulate your feelings.
I was right on LeBaron Philon when he was a freshman, too.
It's okay to articulate your feelings out in the open, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have an oblique injury, so.
That's okay.
I'm going to keep telling myself that.
Yep, we're playing
that. That makes sense now that I'm like this. When I do this, I feel it.
That would explain it.
Or if even if I rub across it, the muscle is like tender.
I'm just going to play that. Anyway, here we go.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Thanks for hanging out with us. What a beautiful Thursday. Lots going on in the college world. We talked about it yesterday, but we'll talk about it again. 5 and 5 coming to us to a university near you. Step in the right direction. I think it clears a lot of stuff up when you're talking about 5 for 5. Whether it be red shirt, don't need to word the term anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The medical stuff, I know there's probably some of it still that could still play, but you got 5.
The only thing I hate about this is that it doesn't grandfather in those seniors from last year. That's the only thing that I don't like about this. Those guys really got the shaft between the COVID stuff and now this new ruling. It's like they got caught in the weird. They were the class that got caught in the weird in-between zone, which kind of stinks for them. But I would have wished that would have been good. But I like this. I like the age-based restrictions, so you can't bring 27-year-olds into college sports.
It just cleans it up, right? Whether the graduation time or the day you turn 19, whatever comes first, there's your 5. When you start looking at it from the Nebraska perspective, there's some really interesting stuff. I think the hardest thing is going to be the way the coaches have to manage rosters now, looking at their roster, right? Especially now that some class is already done. Football 27 class is pretty much, you know what I'm saying, like intact, still getting guys, but how to manage because now you're given years, right? Basketball-wise, Price ain't coming back. He has 2 more left, though. He ain't coming back. Let's just clean that one. But basketball-wise, you look at Leo Curtis. He's got 4 now. Your freshmen are on the new time clock. They all got 5 to play the 5. Makes a lot of sense. Taj, he has another additional year. I believe he has 3 now from the guard position,
which is big.
That's big. So I think that's awesome. Boy, look at volleyball, what they could do.
They got the whole squad, man.
Jackson, Murray, Bergen Riley.
And Lady Choboy.
Could all return. Will they? We don't know. Volleyball is an interesting one because of the money they're going to make.
It's probably more here than it is in the professional ranks because me and Schmitty were looking up the salaries yesterday. The lower end in the United States are going to make $10,000, which, by the way, would get you food stamps in most places. That's kind of money that we're talking about. So, you're going to have a job on top of playing volleyball. But in European countries, you can make anywhere from $500K to, if you're a really big earner, if you're a global superstar, you can make $1 million. That's pretty decent for playing volleyball. But knowing some of the numbers that these gals are on behind the scenes, probably more of a financially beneficial scenario if they were to stay another year.
In volleyball, like basketball, it's a unique management because if you look at the volleyball class coming in after, or what you have on your bench now. How do you manage? You have a potential if Riley comes back again to have a 3rd-year overlap with Flynn. What does Flynn decide to do? If that's the case, these are scenarios to look at.
Right.
Women's basketball, how about Britt Prince gets to stay longer? If she doesn't make her way to the WNBA, which she will.
She's good, man.
There's other ones on there, right? Football-wise, I think it's the most intriguing thing.
That and baseball. Yeah, because
baseball, it's pretty clean.
Some of the JUCO guys are going to get
JUCO guys, but we completely baseball and softball. I mean, softball-wise, you're going to get Jensen. Whew, okay, you got more of her. Let's go. Baseball, it felt like again. You're talking about feeling bad for those. You just missed out on a really good senior class that could have returned if this would have been earlier of some sorts. Football, I think, is the really intriguing one, especially when you look at your projected starter at quarterback.
He could have another year, man.
What does that look like? There's a lot of conversations and management going on in the 5 for 5 football. If Calandria comes out and performs, it's going to be one of those things we'll wait and see type guys. But if he wants to return, but then in come Trey Taylor.
Or with Anthony Calandria getting an extra year, he balls out at Nebraska, and then he goes back on the open market, and then he gets a bag. That could also happen. But it all depends on what they want to do with Trey Taylor in the future. And I think TJ Latif's going to have something to say about this as well. I don't think that he's going to sit quietly.
Bringing that up.
He's not going to sit quietly by the wayside and watch a couple of guys. He's going to have decisions about his future to make. And if he's the type of guy to stay and compete for the University of Nebraska, which if he is an invaluable asset, by the way, because those guys are becoming fewer and far between in the world of college athletics that want to stay around and be program guys. Guys like Danny Kaye, who came back to buy in and be a program guy and just invest in the culture in that way. A guy like Jalen Gramstad, who came over as a grad transfer and now stays in that room as a coach and as a GA of some sort. Those guys are invaluable. Keeping those guys in your locker room is priceless.
Oh.
So the more you can keep those guys around, the better. But you're going to have some fun conversations about what's going to happen in 2027. But in terms of 2026, I mean, you get Andrew Marshall another year. I'm a fan of that. I get another
Brendan Black.
Yeah, I get another year with Brendan Black. I get another year with Cam Lenhart to potentially impact this thing. Like another year with Victor Evans, I believe, who came in from FIU, who nobody talks about, who was a legit baller at FIU last year. That guy does not get enough love for how good of a player that he was coming into the port. Everybody's like, Victor Evans. Like, we got Danny Hilton, and we got Donovan Jones, and we got Andrew Marshall. Like, yeah, they're good, but like Victor Evans ain't no slouch, man. He's a good ball player.
Big one also, if you mention it, Camp like Lenhart, I believe he has an additional. That's a big one, I think, defensive line wise.
Get another guy with another year of salt under his belt.
So more to come of that. They're cleaning up. There'll be a lot more stuff to come out of that. Also, by the way, there's a couple proposals out there. Get you guys thought on these, and a lot of it. They're trying to clean a lot of stuff up when you start looking at it. There is a proposal now. Will they get through or not? Is the notification of transfer portal period window. Right now, it's currently, I believe it's 15-day. It's a 15-day period that runs from January 2nd to January 16th. It's after the Near Six bowl games, blah, 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 blah. They are now proposing a 10-day window on the first business day after January 1st. 5 days shorter.
Hey, I got a fun stat for you guys. You want to hear a fun stat?
Always.
So, there's a current quarterback out there. Everybody talks about Anthony Calandria, and we think of him as an older guy, saltier guy in college football. There's a certain quarterback in the SEC that has a lot of hype, that has a big name, its last name, who's older than him. You want to tell me who that is? Big name. Uncle was an NFL legend. Other uncle was an NFL legend.
Huh. I'm blanking.
Plays quarterback. Pretty famous last name.
Arch Manning.
Arch Manning
is
6 months older than Anthony Calandria. Put that into perspective. Think about that, Hooks. Everybody talks about everybody talks about Arch as a sensation, this phenomenon. Arch is going to have another year, and he's older than Anthony Calandria. Recenter your perspective on that just a little bit. Just think about that. Like,
he's 6 months older than Anthony.
So people
Calandria.
So people will treat Calandria as like an older commodity, and Arch is still a young guy. Arch is older than Anthony Calandria. The development curve ain't
never crossed my mind.
See, think about that. This is why I think about this stuff, because those guys are at the same age. So like Arch Manning's going to get an extra year of eligibility now, probably. If it doesn't turn around for him, does it ever turn around? Think about a guy who also transferred out of the program. How does this affect a guy like Dylan Raiola, who's now got multiple years of eligibility? I believe now he's got 3 that he could utilize.
Yep.
That's massive for a guy like him. You're not going to take it. You might play backup this year, but then if you want to, you can transfer another place and have 2 years of eligibility, or you can stick and stay and be at Oregon and be a starter. A lot of career options for that young man now. Now it's not 2 years. Now you got 3. Now you get a little bit more time to elongate your earning potential.
Yep.
In
I
college,
think
which
all
is
of
big.
this gets into the management. Now that it's here, it's the management of how you're going to manage those rosters.
Yeah.
The way the portal looks, it's going to change the landscape for sure. Also, they voted to eliminate the bowl transition penalty.
That's good. I like that.
So paving a pathway for North Dakota State and Sacramento State to be eligible to play in a bowl game immediately in 2026.
I thought that was the dumbest rule of all time. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah,
It's one of,
like you get to be a D1 team, you're like, nope, you're gonna have to wait.
Yeah, it's like if they go in and they slap together an 8-win season, you're going to tell them that they can't be rewarded for putting together an 8-win season.
No,
that's diabolical. That's like telling a team that transitions to D1 to play in men's or women's basketball that they can't play in the tournament for 5 years. What a load of crap that is. Because there are some teams who come in, they're really good, and they are tournament worthy. But no, we're going to keep you out. Like, it's so dumb. Like, if you make the transition, you're good. You should just be able to participate in postseason play. That's my thought. So I'm glad they're getting rid of the bowl eligibility rule, because that is one of the dumbest rules in sports.
Yeah, and I think that's great news for those teams that do come over and have the chance to do so, especially in a storied program at their other level with North Dakota State. They have a chance.
North Dakota State's going to be freaking awesome in the FBS. And like Sacramento State's got plenty of money behind that thing, so they're also going to be a really, really solid addition. It's fun, some of these teams coming up. Like I quite enjoyed Delaware coming up and being in the FBS, and we've seen the rise of James Madison as they've entered the FBS. Like there are some really cool stories with teams that jump up from the FCS to the FBS, and they become like really awesome. This is just another one of those cases where like North Dakota State and Sacramento State could be like the new wave and put this thing into overdrive, because North Dakota State's always been a good football program. Always.
So that's coming up. Boy, also we got about a month away. We got Big Ten Media Days coming. Isn't that wild? Big Ten Media Days are a month away.
This is what happens when you have a good basketball, good baseball, softball programs. Is like
it's a good wedge.
The window shortens, right? So we could talk about other sports for longer, which is that's not a slight on those sports. It's also not a slight on football. It's great to have a buffet of options when it comes to talking topics.
Well, it's good for us.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for us to have a buffet of options to talk about. But yeah, Big Ten Media Days is 1 month away, and I know you're going to get like an early preview and a look at a bunch of those guys. And it's kind of like the signaling start of like, hey, football season is right around the corner. Like that is like the hallmark of like, hey, your conference media days mean that we are boom, right around the corner. Like football season is here. Now, I think with the CWS being done, we can officially say that like college football season is here. Like we can start ramping up and talking about that stuff. But yeah, it's cool that you get guys like Justin Evans and Andrew Marshall and Luke Lindemeyer there, because those are like your real developmental success stories. Like those are guys that have grinded their way and really embody what your program's about. I found it cool that they're not sending a guy like Calandria or sending a guy like Ja'Cory Barney or sending a guy like Isaiah Hunter. Like just let those guys hang back and go ball.
Yeah.
Like don't put Elijah Pritchett in front of a microphone. Let him go maul in the weight room. Let him go be violent in practice. Like let some of those guys, like I wouldn't want Cade Petchock on a microphone. Like I want him to be unmitigated violence on the field, right? Those are the guys that I want in the weight room, working on their craft, hanging out with the guys, being one of the dudes. I don't need you to be a steward and a representative of the program. We got older guys for that, right? We got the Andrew Marshalls and the Luke Lindemeyers and the Justin Evans who have paid their dues now, and either at the lower levels and then transferred to Nebraska and being a transfer success story with Marshall, or being developmental success stories in the program like Lindemeyer and Evans. Let those guys just go handle the business. We can play ball here, and I think the best thing that this program could be about is ball. That's what you want. You want a team that's about ball, and you want a team that's focused on really figuring out how to win in different ways to win, and how to be a collective group and really pull for the jersey, right? Because in previous years, like I think Dylan Raiola was a great steward of the program. I think he was a good representation for the program, but he almost felt like there was the brand that was Dylan Raiola, and then there was Dylan Raiola, the player, right? Anthony Calandria is just one package, right? When you want to make a direct quarterback comparison, he can be one of the guys, right? Everybody can be pulling for the jersey. Everybody can be playing for the N on their helmet, right? And I think that's the best thing that you could possibly have with the program, is you want to be a developmental program that gets to highlight its developmental pieces that have been success stories. And you also have a group of guys that are collectively rowing one way, trying to get Nebraska back to the top of college football, which is where I'm sure everybody wants us to be. If you're a Nebraska fan, you don't want them to be at the top of college football, I really don't know what to tell you.
I think it's a great approach.
We're barking up the wrong tree.
I think it's a great approach. Typically, you see this Big Ten Media Days. It's the skilled guys going out there. To me, this just symbols veterans. It feels the workmanlike approach. Go up there, get it done, move on. Not a big show, right? And I agree with that. Get your guys, get them back to work, because there's a big task in front of Nebraska football this coming season. They will be on the last day, by the way, July 30th. Is when Coach Rule and the three will present themselves.
But also, Hooksy, you've been around now for a little bit. Like we all kind of know this about Nebraska. Nebraska is not a super flashy brand, is it? When you think about the history of Nebraska football, it's not, hey, we're Nebraska and we pop and we're in your face. It was like, oh crap, we're playing Nebraska. Those guys are all about ball up there. Those guys are menaces in the weight room. Those guys are maniacal with their approaches.
You feel like that's been I don't know if that's been the perception as of late.
That's what I'm saying. Like
they've been getting their
right. There's been a lot of, bumping your gums, which is fine. Like you can sell. Selling's okay. We gotta all make money. We gotta all turn a profit. That's okay. But at some point, if you're gonna sell something, we need a product that delivers, right, Hooks? You can't listen. You're a businessman.
Preach.
You're a businessman. You know this with Slim Chickens. You can't put an item on the menu that don't sell.
Preach.
You got to make some money. There's a cost benefit analysis that comes from this, right? When it comes to Nebraska football, I think maybe in the Pelini years was the last time. Maybe I'll give Riley the credit that this team was like a little bit about ball. Like there wasn't a ton of media circus. Like that was probably the last time. Some of those Riley years, I'm not gonna say all of them.
A lot of hips, baby.
Yep. Some of those Riley years, a couple of the Pelini years were like the last time that you were about ball, right? Where the perception was, man, Nebraska's a serious football team. Like, can you get back to being a serious football team? Like, you've made bowl eligibility. Now can you knock on the door of 7, 8, 9 wins and go, hey, we're serious. Like, we are Nebraska. We are about ball. Like, you got to go. Like, at some point, you got to be a bully. Yeah. And I felt like Nebraska, when they were winning, when they were consistently contending at the top and being a really serious football program, they were a bully. They were a team that you went on the field and you're like, oh crap, they're going to take my lunch money. Like I'm going to
tell you, I think that's full credit to Bo Pelini and staff.
Mm-hmm.
I know Riley might get a little bit of that, but that's all Bo.
Mm-hmm.
He made us that way.
Mm-hmm.
He made the perception of culture that way.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless how you felt, how it went, how it ended, that is the last time.
Yeah, because
it felt like that we were like, all right. And currently right now, man, you're not – Nebraska just needs, to me, be that team, put your nose in the ground, move right along. Because right now, perception-wise, you're not that.
People don't fear you.
Yeah, I think there's been a fixation with this current staff trying to make Nebraska a national brand. And I don't think the way you make Nebraska as a national brand is you're a serious football team, man. You are about ball. Like when you think of – do you think of Tom Osborne as flashy? Tom Osborne is not a flashy guy.
Never
like Bob Devaney would get out and have his moments, but I wouldn't consider Bob Devaney a super flashy guy. I wouldn't consider Frank Solich a super flashy guy. Like I wouldn't consider Bill Callahan a very flashy guy.
No.
Bo Pelini was very no nonsense. Wouldn't consider him a flashy guy outside of the temper tantrums, right? Like Mike Riley, like Scott Frost, Matt Rule, do those guys exude that they're about ball?
Nope.
Or do they exude that, hey, we are here because
they've said they are?
This is the brand. Scott, maybe I could believe it. Scott put his nose to the grindstone and was like, hey, I built this thing at UCF. I'm going to build this thing at UCF again. Like, if he turns UCF around again, then I can go, hey, maybe Scott Frost was about ball and he just was in the wrong scenario in Nebraska. Like, we could say that. But, sure. Does Mike Riley, Matt Rule, Scott Frost, those guys strike you as being about ball? Or do they strike you as being a CEO, being all-encompassing, right? There's a difference between being a ball coach and a CEO, in my opinion.
Unique challenges for coaches.
Yeah. Especially in the modern era.
Like, it's unique challenges for those coaches. What you're talking about is the balance, because the landscape has changed with NIL versus culture versus whatever else, to mix the two worlds together.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see it as much.
Right. Do you think the perception of Matt Rule would be different if he kind of came in, like there was the whole backwards hat and the call me Matt stuff, and it was like building up the bowl season. He was trying to be one of the guys, right? Trying to be that. You think if he would have came in with a different approach, came in a little bit more hard-nosed to the media, do you think the perception about Matt Rule would be different? Do you wonder that? I kind of wonder that, and I kind of go like, not saying that Matt Rule isn't respected in circles. I'm sure Matt Rule's respected in coaching circles. Do you think that it would buy him a little bit more street cred in terms of the time with Nebraska, and it'd buy him a little bit more credit in terms of national perception, going, hey, Matt Rule is about ball.
I'm going to lean towards yes, because my perception, this is me, not throwing it at anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
My perception is that when they walked in, transparency wasn't obvious.
Right.
On how bad it was.
Mm-hmm.
Or having the ability to come in and go, you know what? All this is wrong. Let's fix it all now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tear it down and I'm going to build it back up.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do it my way. Because I compare, again, come at me if you want, but I compare Nebraska football where it's at today or the last few times to Carolina basketball.
Sure.
We tried to be Nebraska through and through with whether it be the alumni coming back to coach or whatever. Sometimes you just got to take pieces of that and just change the whole dang thing.
You can marry it. Absolutely.
So I think that's, if I'm comparing two programs, Carolina basketball forever is like, let's get the Tar Heel guy.
Right.
Not just the head guy. Let's have everybody on the bench be a Tar Heel.
Mm-hmm.
And we're only going to do it this way. And it's sometimes you got to come in and go, nope. What that's been doing has gotten us the last 20 years of where we're at. Minus Bo. Take Bo out and go, what have we been?
That's a fascinating perspective because you know who's in the same boat right now? Florida.
Yes.
Florida's in a similar boat. Alabama's in a very similar boat where they went from a legend, a fixture, a stature in the sport, right? An institution of the sport, Nick Saban. They went to Kalen DeBoer, who, in terms of coaching style, in terms of personality, way different.
Yeah.
Way different guy, way different temperament. And
But
now you're
he's
kind of
kinda-
you're seeing an adjustment to a new norm for Alabama fans, and they're in a different state of limbo. Florida's been kind of adjusting and rerouting and doing stuff. They had some really good periods. They had some nice seasons under Dan Mullen, and I like some of the moments they had under Will Muschamp, but it ultimately didn't work out with him there. But
look what's going on there now.
Yeah, I mean it's that.
So
now
just
that- now they're
thoughts
under
of
another head coach.
perspective of where programs can change. And I like the way you said, you can marry these two together.
Yes.
Nebraska has done an unsuccessful part of that, marrying the stuff together. Carolina basketball, unsuccessful.
Mhm.
Now, if you look at if you're comparing, like, was the right move for Carolina to hire Mike Malone? Wait and see.
Yeah.
Because now you've upset the
balance.
Carolina way.
Right. You've dropped a predator into the ecosystem. That's what's going on there. Is another like could a successful transition be Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame? Is that a good example?
Oh
of a
yeah, he
transition
came
where-
in and said, "Look,
because him and Brian Kelly, very different personality types. Because Brian Kelly is a very no nonsense, hard nosed, like that. Like not saying Freeman isn't those things, because Freeman is hard nosed, very no nonsense. But Brian Kelly has a certain way that he presents himself. Brian Kelly doesn't really care about his perception and what people think of him. He cares that he
No.
gets results, and he's okay with chewing out a couple people and hurting some people's feelings. Marcus Freeman's a little bit different. Things seem more smoothed over. Things seem more relational in terms of Notre Dame football, and I think that they're more relatable now under Marcus Freeman. At least that's in my perspective. Like I find myself more than ever relating to Notre Dame football than I did in years past under Brian Kelly or under some of their previous head coaches. Like I wouldn't consider Lou Holtz and Brian Kelly to be super relatable. That is not knocking them as humans and not knocking them as ball coaches, but in terms of the way that their brand was presented, it was never, hey, like these guys seem super approachable. Marcus Freeman seems very approachable, very relational to players, but he is no nonsense and he demands a lot. Like I think that that's been a successful marrying of things within Notre Dame football, keeping the traditions with a new age, more modern feel. And they've managed to marry that and to turn this really, really awesome. Mario Cristobal at Miami took some of the previous things from Manny Diaz from that tenure, took some things from some other coaches from the best of Howard Schnellenberger and Jimmy Johnson, wrapped them all into one with his current coaching style of building through the trenches and being physical. And look at where Miami is now. Like that is a great marrying of culture.
Can you throw in Dan Lanning?
Yes. You can think about some of the better things done under Chip Kelly there.
Yep. The
speed, the athleticism, the raw talent that Oregon possesses.
Dan Lanning, to me,
you marry that with a grittiness and a violence that Dan Lanning
would it be fair to say Dan Lanning is the guy that encompasses everything you just said? Hard-nosed guy, relatable, doing it his way.
Yeah. Earlier,
he carries everything.
Earlier, Kirby Smart was very like that. Earlier, Kirby Smart.
They're living in the world now. They're just Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a slippery slope for a place like Georgia.
Right. But, and I think that's interesting because remember when Kirby took that Georgia job and they couldn't get over the hump, but people gave Kirby credit because what was Kirby about? Kirby was no nonsense. Kirby was about ball. Kirby wasn't going out saying, we're going to win 8 or 9 games this year. He was like, we're going to grind. We're going to develop this thing. And we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure out how to win one way or another.
But that comes with the honesty factor.
Right. So
the
honesty.
Transparency, saying we're not there.
Yeah.
And I think that's been faulted maybe here at Nebraska.
Yeah, I think, and this is no fault to Matt Rule. Like he tried to mend bridges. He tried to be as relational and as public and as politically and corporately correct as possible. But there is a point where at some point you have to look at your fan base and go, I inherited a rotting ship.
But I think
this thing is falling apart at the timbers.
Probably a lot like other places. And we'll wrap this up right here. But the phrase, there's no place like Nebraska, probably resonates so much deeper than we imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And at what point in time there's too many people to answer to your head guy, for your head guy.
Right. Too many cooks in the kitchen. The same thing in Carolina. Like, we talk about Carolina basketball openly about this.
Yep.
How many hands are really in the kitchen trying to stir the pot in Carolina basketball?
How many guys got to answer to?
Some of the cooks need to.
Fascinating
take a
conversation in the landscape right now, but great stuff. Let's take our final break of the day. Come back with stories that we missed. Fascinating place that I didn't know we'd end up at.
Yeah, my fault. I completely sidebarred.
No, I love it. No,
I sidebarred that.
Nope.
I sidebarred the bejesus out of that.
There's honest conversations that I don't think are allowed to happen at this university.
That's the problem. Is like
you said, there's just too many cooks in the kitchen, man.
Like people will probably get pissed at me, but I don't really care. Like, I don't have any access inside the program anyway, besides like talking to the guys, like just being a dude, like talking to some of those guys. Like, I don't have any access to the building. I don't have any, people that I know and relations to keep that allow me access into the department. Like, I'm a young guy, like, this is what I see. Like, that's just kind of what I observe, is that I like Matt Rule the human, and I think that Matt Rule the human is awesome. I just think that I wonder sometimes if his perception, if his stock would be different if he'd have approached it a different way. That's not a knock on his approach, but I do wonder what the alternative universe would look like if that would have happened. Would we be going wait and see in the manner of, we'll just wait and see what they end up being. Maybe I'll tune into basketball in November hey, we'll wait and see. I think they're building something, like they're taking their lumps now. Would people justify?
I think where Nebraska's at right now, like, it's really hard football-wise to get excited.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a fan, this isn't me as sitting on the radio. As a fan right now, 27 class looks to be dynamic. But why is it hard for me to get excited about? I know it's another year, right? But whatever. But why is it excited for me to even get excited about that?
Right, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, your perspective from a fan point is, what is my selling point on 2026 when 2027 has all of this hype?
Are they like smokescreen and say, "Hey, be patient again in 26"?
Right, like, is this the expectation reset?
We're coming.
Right, and maybe that's the thing, is maybe Matt Rule tries to take the new approach, and maybe this is an approach where he goes, hey, we're going to be about ball at Nebraska. Like, I tried to make this thing a national brand from this way. Maybe our way forward is us being about ball and us working and us being blue collar and us getting down and dirty and really putting in extra amounts of work. Maybe he shifts his approach. Maybe this thing turns out good, Not saying that it hasn't turned out good. He got you stability, got you bowl eligibility, which is more than you had before. So already he has raised the floor of this program, right? Which is more than could be said in previous tenures.
I agree. I mean, at some point, you're probably saying, man, we made a couple bowl games.
Yeah. Like, I think credit has to be extended to him that he has raised the floor of this program, right? So that people can have those lofty expectations of, hey, we want to get to 9-10 games. We want to be pushing for a CFP, right?
Sure.
Like, I think there can be credit extended to that, but at the same point, you can also look at, you have extended the ceiling on this, and we haven't quite hit the ceiling yet. Like, all the furniture's not moved yet. And we need all our furniture moved in for this to be like a real high rent place.
Yep. Concur.
But I do think, like, if you're gonna, like, we can extend him credit and say he is raised.
No, I agree. It's just, to me, it goes back to like transparency. Be like, hey, here's the plan. Also, was he? I mean,
because, like, we could look back at Scott Frost tenure, and was there really times that you beat teams that you needed to beat? You got to beat teams you need to beat.
I think the pressure might have been for Rule is the lofty expectations of his other stops.
Right. So that.
Year 3, here we go. Did it at Temple, did it at Baylor. And then it didn't meet expectations. Like, well, now what?
Yeah, I wonder how much, like, I would have to go back and look at Rule's, like, media tour that he did during that offseason, see how much of that he actually talked about his year 3, how much he brought it up versus how much people brought it up for him. Were the expectations hyperinflated by a media machine that was insatiable and out of control? Or did he partially put wood on the fire and help that blaze to get stoked? I think that's, like, in hindsight, looking back on that, we would really have to evaluate that.
There's a lot of fascinating places we could go. I got a story that's fascinating coming up in the college basketball world that I think is interesting.
Me and you two are going to fight. I'm going to get in a fight with this computer. All right, fellas, here we go.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Thanks for hanging out. There's a few moments left. What a great song to come back to.
Kind of sums up what we've been
It
talking
does.
about.
It does. Perfect.
I'm out of touch. That's the bottom line.
Let's do stories that we missed.
The stories we missed. The morning hookup.
This is an interesting college basketball story in the landscape of college basketball. How about this? If this is going to be the way of getting non-conference games, well, I'm going to tell you this. North Carolina and NC State are going to play a non-conference basketball game. They only play one time in the regular season. Carolina and NC State have scheduled a non-conference basketball game in December.
Love it.
Is that the way to get stuff done in conference? Or challenge or get non-con games, big-time non-conference games? It's interesting. For the first time ever, NC State, Carolina, non-conference in December. Because they only play once. It's just an interesting one.
So the funny story that we missed. I don't know if you saw this at a U.S. national team training camp. So the team, it was an off day for the players. So Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, and Alejandro Zendejas leave the team hotel. They want to go into town to get some pizza, right? They nosh on their pizza. They get done. They ride share. Here's the problem. Massive traffic accident on Pacific Coast Highway, right? We're down to one lane. No way for the car to get through, right? Traffic stopped for hours. They're several miles from the hotel. They're 40 minutes away. You don't want to put strain on Christian Pulisic's injured calf, right?
No.
What do? They go to a dealership in Dana Point, California that specializes in high-end street legal golf carts, right?
You're joking.
So Weston McKennie, who's in flip-flops, they go to the business owner. He didn't know who they were. Didn't know. This should tell you about the state of U.S. soccer, right? Didn't know who these guys were. They all look into it. They're looking into these lifted street legal golf carts. They talked about renting the golf carts. They don't do rentals, right? They wanted to purchase a cart. This comes at a price of about $9,000. Okay. They were just trying to figure out how to get back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what ends up happening is the owner of the dealership had delivered a cart to the hotel that they were staying at, right? So he just says, hey, I'll get you guys a ride in the cart I just dropped off. We'll ride share. You guys don't have to pay for anything. We'll just get your ride back in the cart. And so from a pizza trip and a one lane closure on the Pacific Coast Highway, 3 U.S. men's national team players, after going and grabbing a slice, get a ride back on a rental cart that was street legal.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I hope I described that as good.
Nope,
I was kind of like reading and digesting as I was spitting this out.
You nailed it. That's incredible.
That's a fascinating story, which is really funny because like golf cart owner did not know who they were. And he's like, he just sees these young gentlemen very politely inquiring about a golf cart. And he's like, I'll just give you a ride back.
So then they were on the highway in a golf cart?
Yeah, they were on a highway in a street legal golf cart in one lane.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So imagine that it's like you're getting out of an accident. You're like, did Christian Pulisic and Weston McKennie just go by me in a street legal golf cart? That's the most California thing of all time, by the way.
Amazing.
Lions, Terry and Arnold.
Oh my gosh. I was going to get into this. But
what in the world? Kidnapping and robbery charges, and it's a whole long story on how this happened. I guess he owns an Airbnb or something like that.
He's also allegedly the ringleader in all of this.
Yeah, so I guess he was renting out an Airbnb. There were people that stayed there. They allegedly stole some stuff. So in retaliation, they kidnapped and robbed these people. And then he ended up turning himself in to local police department and is now facing charges because of it.
All of this, by the way, whatever charges, you can read them off. Faces. Do you see what he could face?
Life in prison. You're going to life in the slammer.
4 counts of kidnapping, 4 counts of armed robbery. That's incredible.
Now, there is due process.
Yes.
There is legal justice. He is innocent until proven guilty. I want to stress this. The optics around the situation are not good. The optics around the situation are very much not in the favor of Terrion Arnold.
The fact that he was at training camp and reporters came up and tried to ask him about it and he brushed it off and then now is turning himself in. That is a man who knows he's guilty and knows that people are going to find evidence and it's going to come back
It's
on
not
him.
a great spot to be, my friend.
He is innocent until proven guilty. However, because I do not want to assume that anybody is guilty. We have due process in the country. There is a legal process that you must go through.
Totally agree.
But
it doesn't.
Do we think that there's a plea deal on the horizon here? Just to get him out of some major jail time?
I'd be talking.
I would. If I'm him, I'm finding
Chatterbox.
I'm getting some of the best lawyers I can find.
Hey,
I'm getting Saul Goodman.
Hey, this kind of points to where we've been talking about Nebraska athletics and the arrow pointing up. The final Directors' Cup standings came out.
Well, Nebraska top 10?
17th.
Oh.
Highest since 2009, 2010.
That'll play, coach. Who won the Directors' Cup this year?
Don't remember.
Was it Carolina with a bunch of meaningless sports?
Shut up. No, they did not. They were top 10, I think.
They inflated the numbers, Hooks.
They did not. I don't know who did. I choose not to listen.
Was it like Stanford? I wouldn't be surprised if that was like a Stanford win. You know
Probably. That's so Stanford-like to go, well, we're not great at anything. We're just good at everything.
Right. Like we are an academic powerhouse. We are the prestigious Stanford University.
Hey, I didn't get a chance to ask you. Former Iowa, former Blue Jay, getting a little chance with the OKC Thunder.
I'm telling you,
Are you okay with it?
We are bringing raisins and the potato salad to the barbecue. We got Peyton Sanford, Bennett Sturts, and Josh Dix. There will be no seasoning on the food at Summer League.
Not at all. Coming up tomorrow, we got World Cup Talk USA Turkey, the Almanac. Jeff Motenhall and more. Have a great Thursday. Catch you on a Friday.